right, Blazers getting ready for their draft, selecting 11th. Still gets in my craw. They lost a spot. It's a lottery. It's a lottery.
It happens.
They had workouts today, though. Who is in town today?
The name I think people would know is Caleb Love, formerly of North Carolina and Arizona.
Yeah.
So first of all, we should preface this. Tomorrow is the withdrawal day for the NBA draft.
Okay.
So we are less than a month away from the NBA draft. And the way the NIL landscape has just, if you think it's transformed football, it has done so much more to basketball. It is insane the amount of money these guys are getting to go back. We already saw Yaxel Lindeberg go to Michigan for $3 million. And Yaxel was getting legitimate first-round love, but I don't think he was going to end up as a lottery pick. And he got $3 million to go to Michigan for a year.
That sounds like a good call on his part.
Look, if you're not sure of exactly where you're going to go, or if you're not getting like a couple lottery promises, I get it. Because $3 million, and like, yeah, he'll be a little bit older in the class. Your draft position probably isn't going to change that much.
Yeah.
So do you want to go make, $1 million as a late first, or do you want to go make $3 million and get to touch the ball an awful lot at Michigan?
And then have an opportunity to work your way up the lottery even further in a not as loaded draft. It's still good.
It's going to be interesting to see how this draft shakes out next year. But for as far as this draft is concerned, the guys the Blazers brought in today, you're looking at like some top 60, top 75 guys. Like you're seeing from Montana, you had Money Williams.
Awesome name.
Great name. Great story too. But yeah, the guys the Blazers have brought in so far, mostly kind of second round guys and some G League guys. And I think that's kind of the opportunity. Caleb Love has got a pretty great college resume.
Yeah.
Led two programs at North Carolina and Arizona to very successful runs. We saw Caleb Love, and he had the game against Oregon. When he's one of those guys that when he goes off, just goes completely nuclear. But he can also just shoot you out of a game.
Well, yeah, and be a non-factor or a hindrance to you winning basketball games.
Seeing him up close in person, I was like, oh, he's a little bit more stout than I thought. He's a little bit bigger than I thought he was.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah,
he's got that physicality that he shows as a guard, but it
because that's how he's going to cut his teeth in the NBA. He's going to be a defensive guard.
Yeah.
And he's going to be a defensive guard who's got to be more consistent as a shooter. He's going to kind of be a floor leader kind of guy, like just an organizer. And he's got some experience. He's cut his teeth doing that and leading two preeminent programs in 3 different conferences to high levels of success. But as the weeks go on, the recruits, the prospects are going to be better. I would imagine later this week you're going to start seeing the influx of guys that are kind of the first lottery batch. It's going to be interesting to see who the Blazers can get to come in at pick number 11.
And that's the thing is like, we got people on the text line asking, what are the chances that guys like Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey, none.
I'd be stunned here's the thing. Because the Blazers front office has very good relationships with a lot of these agents in the younger circuit because of obviously Mike Schmitz and his relationships that he's developed over years at Draft Express. You might get one of those guys in a private workout as kind of a favor, but I would almost guarantee it's not going to be a public workout.
Well, there's a lot that goes into it too because you're bringing these guys in for a workout where they are on the floor. They don't want to risk injury for a team that is in all likelihood not going to be able to move up to get them.
Not only that, like everybody talking about trading up, nobody's trading up in this draft into the top 5.
No,
that's it'd be stunning. I think the days of like the 76ers moving up to number 1 to take Markelle and even going from 3 to 1, I think those days are gone. With the way this new CBA is, I don't think you're going to see anybody doing that. Because it's so valuable to get the highest end talent at the best deals you can get them at and make sure you get that guy.
Yeah.
So
the one team that does that I do have questions as to whether that or not they would do it is and be willing to move down. That is Philadelphia this year, sitting at 3 and knowing that it's guard heavy. Like, what do they do there? If
All
they're
signs seem to point, because they have nothing going forward as far as like cheap controllable contracts. I mean, they paid Maxey, they paid PG, they paid Embiid. They don't have anybody else in the pipeline.
So wouldn't it behoove them to move down to 5 and get somebody cheaper, and then also get assets from Utah, which has another pick in the first round of this draft, or has a bevy of future picks? Like, if you are lacking that developmental pipeline, you should probably build it with cheap talent,
The way,
because they can't spend anywhere else.
Yeah, with where they're at though, they need the highest end talent, because they are so pot committed right now, and that seems to be the thought coming out of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
There's a few people who are like, oh, I could see them. Like, I don't see them trading out of that spot.
Yeah, it would be interesting though, because if you get your hooks in and you're like, the difference between 3 and 5 really isn't that much. What? I mean, does it? Because is Charlotte going to go guard again too?
I think if you asked Utah, the difference between 3 and 5 is pretty significant.
It's huge for them.
Yeah,
it's huge for them.
And that's the thing, is like, when have you ever seen Danny Ainge kind of bent over a barrel and, losing a transaction?
But if they get their guy, which is more feasible than Philly getting their guy, because whatever they get's not going to be Embiid or Maxey right there.
It's hard to see.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's with, we talk about what shapes the NBA, and it's the CBA. And I look at this CBA, and guys are trying to optimize the talent to dollar ratio more than ever before. And I think that's going to go Morty here, the vernacular. It's the optimization of roster building. And I think that's just going to be the big buzz that's going to carry through the next 7 years.
So it will be a roster construction issue, Sean.
Yes.
Yeah.